All right. Well, welcome back to my listeners. Another episode of the Depths of Healthcare. I'm your host, Ben Imes, talking with Lacey today. Lacey, why don't you introduce yourself and kind of tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name is Lacey Edwards, and my mom and I own a med spa in Birmingham, Alabama. My mom started our company over 25 years ago as a solo esthetician. She was one of the first estheticians in Alabama, so she really kind of pioneered what medical aesthetics was in this state. She was the first one to bring in microdermabrasion to the state, and she was doing some medical device sales. Really, what got her into the industry overall is she suffered from cystic acne after having a miscarriage before she got pregnant with me. My mom is very much a perfectionist, and at the time, everybody was really just trying to like cover up the problem. And she wanted a fix, she wanted a correction, she didn't want to just cover it up. So she really started diving deep into what it was going to take to be able to correct those acne scars. And so when she was doing medical, she came across a husband and wife plastic surgeon team, and they taught her how to layer different technologies together. So obviously, now 25 years down the road, everybody knows that one plus one doesn't just equal two, it equals 50. And so we've been layering our technologies for as long as I can remember. But she layered microdermabrasion with ultrasound. Ultrasound is used in wound healing research centers. It was originally created for burn victims, and they were using it in equine therapy at the time as well. And so their thought process was, if this is going to help burn victims and this is going to help heal equine therapy, being able to treat that as well, what can it do for collagen and elastin stimulation? And so they started using it in aesthetic purposes. And so we were able to stimulate the collagen, empty out the we were able to help just drive in that product deeper into the skin rather than a topical. And then we were able to just get an overall skin repair. We were using active ingredients versus just basic ultrasound gel. So we were
Okay.
getting that better product absorption as well. So tone, texture, elasticity, all over skin repair. And then later she added in oxygen jet treatment, which is a salt saline solution. So it was able to preserve that gel and then allow a longer lasting result from the treatment. And we did what we called our ultimate trio, was the bulk of our business for years and years and years. And it was just those three treatments together that we did. And we did that for, gosh, probably the first 10 years of
Hmm.
her being in business. She
Yeah.
started out, like I said, as a solo esthetician. She was in a 640 square foot space. She was taking home laundry at night, doing that by herself. She would
Man.
start a treatment in one room and then finish the treatment in the next room and then go
Yeah.
ahead and start on the next treatment. She was just back and forth all day long.
Wow.
And she was a single mom. And so for probably my whole life, everybody asked me if they thought that I would follow in my mom's footsteps and get into aesthetics like she did. I would always say no, because she was a single mom and she wasn't able to come to any of my activities or do any of the things for me in school. And so I
Right.
just didn't want that for my family. So when she asked me if I would come and work with her when I was, gosh, 22, 23 years old, um, I was like, "Okay, I will, but my children are gonna be priority. I'm gonna go to their activities, and if I can't be there, you will." And she's definitely held true to her end of the bargain. So,
Good.
able to be at all of my kids' activities. I'm actually leaving this Sunday to go to Dolphin Island with my son.
There you
I've
go.
been to all my children's volleyball games, their cheerleading competitions. I have 3 children, and so people ask me all the time, like, how do I balance running 2 businesses and having 3 children? Of course, with the
Yeah.
help of my husband and my mom, and just it's a group effort, I'm able to accomplish that, and so I tell my mom all the time, because of the foundation that she laid for our family and what she put into it, I now get to see her every single day, and I
Right.
get to work with her every single day, and now my children get to be a part of this as well. So she created a legacy business for our
Yeah.
family, and now we're treating grandparents, parents, their kids, now their grandkids. So we're seeing this long line of people that have been seeing my mom since I was in middle school that still come
Wow.
to us today. So
Wow.
now we have the training center that I'm in right now is where we do our lunch and learns and our advanced trainings. And we've now just been named the National Training Center for one of our medical device partners. This space that I'm in right now is bigger than the original location that she started out in, which is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
And since then, we're now in a 3,500 square foot building. And then we opened up our second location last December in Ross Bridge, which is in Hoover. It's about 30 minutes from where we are right now.
Okay. Okay.
And so it's just really humbling to see how far we've come in that amount of time. We
Mhm.
also probably 15 years ago started our membership program, which was
Okay.
well ahead of the time of memberships.
I was gonna say,
The
yeah.
reason that she did it was because we were in a very prominent side of town
Mhm.
and all of those clients were leaving all summer long, all during the holidays, they would go on vacation. And so we would have to ask our employees to get second jobs or to take days off or to do whatever, they needed to do to
Yeah.
bring in additional income because we didn't have the income coming in during those weeks and
Right.
months. And so that's why my mom came up with the idea of doing the membership program so that it would come out automatically and then it would roll over. So instead of saying you're paying this and if you don't use it, you lose it, we said we're going to let you keep it because when you're gone and you come back, you can use that credit and it will benefit you. So they got excited about it because it was like a medical aesthetics like savings account.
Right.
Well, when they come back, they do something really fun and they love that.
Yeah. That's super cool. That was, like, 10 years ago, you said?
15,
15 years ago. Yeah, definitely
15
ahead of
years
its
ago.
time.
So my mom has always had this gift of being able to, like, see things way ahead of its time, and she comes up with a lot of ideas, and sometimes I have to, like, cherry pick the good ones and be like, "Okay, that one makes sense, we can do that one,"
Yeah.
and that was definitely one of them, and especially if she's very persistent on something, I know that, like, it's just something that is needing to be done because she sees something that many people don't.
Sure.
And so that was one of them that has definitely made such a huge impact in our business because,
Yeah.
all of those people that come in on a regular basis are the ones that we are able to talk to them about new technology that we bring into the practice. They're
Right.
able to buy more skincare. For years and years and years, everybody was really injector heavy and then had a little bit of aesthetics and a little bit of skincare. And we've kind of been on the flip side of that. And
Right.
so we kind of had a little bit of a head start in that the bulk of our business is the aesthetics and the skincare, and we
Right.
got into injectables maybe 6 years ago.
Okay. Okay. And so how are you seeing that progress as a side of your business?
It has been super helpful. In the beginning, it was really tricky for us because we're estheticians, and so if we didn't have a doctor here and because I don't know if you know this or not, but in Alabama, doctors are the only ones that can inject. They just recently, in the last few months, approved for mid levels to do toxin under the direct supervision of their collaborator. So we were kind of stuck with this really expensive product on the shelves. And if they decided to go to Europe for the month, or they decided that they were busy with their other respective jobs, then we were stuck holding the bag on this very expensive consumable.
Right.
So we're now fortunately in a position where we have 3 injectors, one's full-time staff, 2 of them come in very regularly. So we're in a very different position today than we were when we very first started out with injectables, and we definitely tried it all the ways until we finally hit the way that works best for us.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's been really nice because we started doing injectables specifically because we didn't wanna lose our patients to the derms that are now starting to get into
Right.
medical aesthetics.
Right.
Because my mom was the first really in the state to do what we do, we had a monopoly pretty much on the state
Right.
for a really long time, and the plastics and the derms kind of thought what we were doing was silly and it didn't work, and now they want us to teach them how to do this silly stuff that doesn't work in their minds.
Yeah.
So
Because they're seeing the margins are healthy.
they are, and they're seeing that it's repetitive business, and the only thing that I've seen that most physicians have struggled with, which really kind of makes me sad because it should have been this way all along, is they're really struggling with the customer service side of things. They're
Mm,
so
yeah.
medical and they're so used to just the patients being there because they have to be. Now they're having to treat them differently because they're there because they wanna be, and they choose to be there, and they choose to spend their money with them, and they're having to treat them as such. And they really should have been treating them that way all along.
Right. It's tough, I guess, in those field, like specifically what you're talking about, the derm and the plastics, where they're probably used to just seeing, 40 when you call them patients versus customers, right? When you see
Mhm.
them as a patient, you're like, what's your problem? How can I fix it? Okay, great. Thanks. I have 10 minutes with you at most. right? And then jump into the next one. And, you got all the notes piling up and you're just like, you're seeing them as kind of, for lack of a better term, they're kind of livestock, right?
Mhm,
You got to move them through the assembly line. But when you see the person as a customer, it,
mhm.
it becomes a completely different shift, right? You have to shift on how you're approaching them and how you're communicating because, I mean, that person's going to keep your business afloat if you treat them well, like an actual human.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have grandparents and parents and grandkids and
And
generations
neighbors.
of people that want to support your business. I mean, like, even when we were shut down during COVID for those couple of months, I came into the office every single day just to check the text messages and to sell
Yeah.
retail product while doing homework with my children while they were in the back. And we had patients that were texting us, checking on us, just wanting to make sure that we were okay and how are we doing and how could they support us. And so that was just really a very aha moment, me and my mom, to
Yeah.
realize that our clients really do care about us. And that's so important to have people that really rally around you and support you and want to see you be successful and want to make sure that you're healthy and that whenever we were able to come back, that we were still going to be thriving at that point.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you're an important cog, like an important part of the ecosystem that you're built in. And so it's, you provide a service, yes, but this is a service that people really care about and really depend on. And so how can you meet their needs, even despite what COVID did and that kind of thing? They absolutely are probably showing their expressiveness, when you guys open back up.
Yes, we hit the ground running. When I tell you
Yeah.
we were able to be open for business, it didn't slow down after that.
I bet. I bet. So, give me a little insight into different. Okay, so your mom is the seer, we'll call her, of
Mhm.
what's coming down the pipeline, and she's got ideas coming out her ears. What are some things that you think may actually stick in the next 5 to 10 years that you guys see progressing?
I think it's really gonna come back down to that level of customer service and the experience because, we're in a time now that everybody has the best of the best equipment. Everybody's really focusing on their continued education and their growth and making sure that their staff are fully trained and understanding everything that they're doing, which, just a couple of years ago, nobody wanted to invest in their staff with additional training. And now we have kind of like led the way, especially in our area,
Yeah.
creating that importance of our team of 13 estheticians and our front desk staff are all clinically trained and certified on every single thing that we have. Every doctor that comes in to inject with us is fully trained and certified on everything we have, even if it's not something that they're the ones that are operating, they can tell you anything and everything about it. And there was a time when your front desk receptionist could just answer the phone and schedule an appointment, and that was it. And we said, no, that's not good enough. They're the face or the first person you see, the last person you see. They need to know more than anybody in here, and they do.
Yeah. I
So
mean, that's big.
I think that just giving that experience and making sure that your patients are loyal to you, and if they can get the same thing down the street, that they want to spend their money with you because they want to support you and they want to come
Right.
to you because they feel like they can trust you and your recommendations and what you're offering them. They they want to do that with you. So I
It's
think
it
that's gonna be what separates.
I see. It's maximizing the value, right? I think it's like, sure, like they're paying customers, but it's making them feel like what they're paying is not actually that much because they can trust you so much with the knowledge base and the skill that you guys
It's
present.
only expensive if it doesn't work.
Exactly. Exactly. Because then they see your cost is probably like, oh, well, this is a no brainer in our mind because I can trust them with everything that they've done so far for my family, my friends, everybody back down the
Yeah.
line. Now, how does it work? Do you contract physicians at this point to kind of come in and do the different injectables, or is it, like a fee for service kind of thing? How does that work?
So 2 of them, yes. One of them is on salary here with us. She's
Okay.
one of our medical directors, and she's a collaborator with our PA and our NP. Our NP runs our second location, and so she's with us full time. And then the other 2 are also medical directors and collaborators with our mid-levels, and then they come in and just inject whenever they aren't at their other jobs. One of them is at the Student Health Center at the University of Alabama, and then she works part-time at another med spa in Tuscaloosa. The other one is a pain management physician, and then she also does some work for the VA hospital, and then she's with us when she's not with those 2. But they're
Gotcha.
both extremely involved. They all well, 2 of the 3 were actually patients of ours before they asked us to become our medical director.
Wow. I mean, if
So,
that doesn't speak volumes.
yeah, and so it's just important to us too that they are excited about what we do, and they're not just here because it's a job.
Right, right. They're seeing it as a passion
Mhm.
more than a job to do.
Yes.
What do you have I mean, so this big opening of your second clinic and second location, that was probably, like, a massive step for you guys since you'd been kind of one spot for 20 years, 25, 24 years. How has that transition been to having now 2 separate locations kinda going at the same time?
So we've had multiple locations in the past. We were in Cahaba Heights when my mom first started. Then we moved to Crestline. We were there for 10 years. We were told that the building was going to be for sale and we weren't sure who was going to buy it or let us renew the lease. So we kind of were looking to expand to an area that would be close enough that those clients would go to if we weren't able to renew our lease, but far
Oh, I
enough
see.
away that if they did let us renew the lease that we could have 2 locations. And then ultimately, one of my best friends purchased a building in Homewood that was the size of those 2 locations. When our lease was up, we moved into the big spot that we're in now because we I was pretty much managing both of those locations back and forth,
Okay.
which was a lot for me on my own to manage.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
then now we have, a nurse practitioner that helps me run the second location, and then I kinda still go back and forth, but I'm primarily at the main location, and then she's always at the secondary location.
Gotcha, gotcha. So it's just continued restructuring just all the way across the line.
Yes. So it's the same staff that works at our second location, they just rotate out. So we have the same medical directors, same staff, a lot of the same equipment, so they're all just go back and forth as needed. So
Right,
we are open 6 days a week at both places.
right.
But that location both locations still have room to grow too, which is great.
Yeah, that's actually kinda a good transition point. I mean, do you see what are the biggest I'll ask kinda based along that, what are the biggest hurdles that you see kinda getting in the way of growth? Because it seems like you guys are primed, um, and are gonna continue to grow just because of all the organic kind of foundation that's been laid so far.
Yeah,
What are things
so
that you foresee getting in the way?
technology was one of the first things that was a huge hurdle for us. When my mom first started out when I came in, she kept up with all of our clients on index cards. So she would have the client's names, phone number, the package that they bought on the index card, and they were in alphabetical order. And I have a trash phobia. I don't like paper at all. And so the first thing that I did was get rid of the index cards, find a platform that we could start using to keep up with our clients in our database. And then because we were really the first ones doing this, we ended up having to, as we grow, find a new platform to fill in the gap, find a new platform to fill in the gap to like do text message reminders or to do consent forms and photography or to do like different things. And so for the last 2 years, I have been consulting on a new medical scheduling platform, EMR system called Revique. And so we went live with that at our second location when we opened it last December. And then we just moved our main location over to it maybe a month and a half ago. So combining all of that technology into one base platform is going to be super helpful for us to be able to track data, do more forward thinking, reporting, and all of that. So being able to put all of that into one space versus having to log in and out of multiple spaces is going to be huge. It's going to really help with our marketing strategies. It's going to help with all of that. I mean, when we first started out, magazine ads and the newspaper were how you marketed yourself. And now, you've got to spend thousands of dollars with the marketing agency to help you with your SEO and your website and your content and everything that you're pushing out onto the web that says, hey, we're the best, we're the experts on this, and push all of that to you. It's a lot more involved today to market yourself than it used to be.
Yeah.
So
Are you in
that's
charge of a lot of that?
all of those things.
All of it. It's
Yeah.
it can be overwhelming, I'm assuming.
Yes. So we use Lifted Logic does our website and they do all of our online marketing for us. And then we have an internal girl who is a licensed esthetician that does all of our social media marketing. And then she also helps us with like our open houses and putting together our promotions and all of our print ad stuff. She does all of that for us. And then we do a monthly magazine ad in Ross Bridge magazine. And then my daughter actually creates all of that and puts that together and we send
Oh,
that over
cool.
to them. So I have helpers, but
Yeah.
I have to like manage all of it and put it all together and do the monthly meetings and do like the planning of the content for the year and make sure that everything is in alignment and all of that.
Yeah. And I feel like with the advancements in kind of the marketing field, there's so many more facets that are being opened up. I mean, if your SEO is not top of the line and continuously optimizing, then you're going to fall behind. And now that
Yes.
people are searching on ChatGPT, like, are you able to optimize on that platform as well as Google, as well as Facebook, as well as Instagram? I mean, there's so many different things you have to consider that it used to be, like you said, you just put out an ad in a magazine and people show up.
Right. Right.
Right.
Yeah. And there's, like I said, there's so much more competition now too.
Totally.
Everybody around you is doing the same thing as you. So how do you say, come to us because we're better equipped to give you the results that you're looking for.
Right, when everybody has the same tech at this point in
Mhm.
terms of treatments.
Right.
So
So
then what
that's
do you say? What do you say? I mean, that's the million-dollar question. So what do you say to them when patient comes in and why should I choose your clinic versus the one down the street?
well, a lot of ours, thank goodness, is because of the experience that we have. We have been doing this for a very long time. We are very high performers. We have, like I said, 13 estheticians over 2 locations. So we're like the number 10 or top 10 account in the nation with Hydrofacial. We're the number
Okay.
1 account in the Northeast with BTL. We're top 100 account with Allergan, with Skin Medica and Diamond Glow. So we do a very high volume. So we have seen everything and we've done it about a million times. So luckily, we just have a ton of experience to back up the knowledge
Right,
that we have, and we have a very robust training program for our estheticians. We typically will hire somebody brand new as an esthetician and put them through our training program, and before they even see a patient, they have been through probably 2 to 3 months of training just on the basics. And then they get trained on the advanced treatments, and they're all, of course, clinically trained and certified on every single thing that we have before they do those treatments as well.
right, and so it's kinda like an informal residency in a sense,
Mhm.
like, just so that they can really have their stuff dialed in before they're ever taking care of someone.
Right. And they have
Yeah.
to pass our written exams as well. So we've put together written exams that they have to pass before that they can do those treatments also.
And these are all very good. I mean, these are things you gotta I hope you're able to get out to the public to tell them to say, "Hey, listen, we aren't just, like, pulling people off the street who wanna be estheticians. I mean, we're putting them through pretty rigorous training."
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people, especially today, are nervous about going to med spas. They get a bad reputation just because there's a lot of like pop up spas and they're
Right.
not following the rules and regulations and the regulatory standards that are being set by the medical board. And we've been told over and over and over again that we set the bar really high because we like to sleep at night and we like to make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's and we're doing every single thing that's required of us, plus more to make sure that we are following everything and then some for safety measures for our patients too.
Totally. Yeah, because the worst thing that you can have is a bad outcome. I mean, that's
Right.
like and so you at all costs try to, cover that on the front end so you don't have the back end headache. Right.
Yes. Yes.
I mean,
And I think definitely too, one of the biggest impacts that we had in our business was, for many, many years, we learned things the hard way or we had the bought lessons as far as like equipment and, partners that we worked with when buying equipment, all of that stuff.
yeah.
And I would say probably 4 or 5 years ago, we started really working with our CPA and our Allergan partners and people that could help us really understand our numbers and our business and
Yeah.
understanding the decisions that we were making and why, and not just like coming up with a special and just going for it. Like that will get you so far, but at some point you need to really understand your numbers and your cost and make smart decisions based on those things because it really doesn't matter how much money your business is making if it's costing you more than what you're making.
Yep. Yep. You gotta see where the bleeds are and be able to patch up those holes as quickly as you can. Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up because it's kinda like you did an audit, basically, of your whole kinda operation.
Mhm.
Was this in the past year, you said?
No, this was probably 4 or 5 years ago that we really started to get a better understanding of how much each room should make per hour and,
Mhm.
what each service cost us and what the true cost of everything was, and so,
Yeah. Yeah, all the margins and everything, understand all that. All the
yeah.
really, really sexy things to pay
Yeah.
attention to.
The things that most business owners don't know,
It's
quite
true.
frankly.
Well, it's true because if you see bottom line and you see, "Hey, we made this much money this year," great. People don't really blink, but when you see if that could be optimized and kind of I mean, if there's anything leaking and you can 2x, 3x, 4x,
Sure.
then that changes the game completely, you know?
Well, a lot of times too, it's just minor tweaks that you can make that make such a
Yeah.
huge impact too.
Yep.
So,
What's one of the tweaks that you've seen that you were surprised by?
I mean, obviously, just as the years have gone by, our bottlenecks vary depending on where we're at. And then, like, if things will work for a while until it doesn't, and then it's time to pivot and change. My mom and I don't have any problems with change. We thrive in change, which is
Yeah, yeah.
very good news because a lot of people don't. But there's a time that our clients would come to the front desk and tell us who they were with and what service they did and what they wanted them to do the next time. And just the simple change of having a checkout slip with that information made the biggest difference in the whole world. And
Yeah.
so the checkout slip says who they are, who they saw, what they did, what they wanted them to do the next time, and what skincare products they recommended. So, I
Yeah.
mean, just a simple change like that makes a big difference.
Right. It's almost like, yeah, I wish also, I mean, even in the physician realm, in the medical realm, I wish that that was also a thing. Like, hey, I left my primary care visit today, but I need to do this, 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 and this, and I wanted to address this, and we didn't have time for that. You're right, but I want to do this next time. But
And
yeah, I mean,
there's always something new that you can do to improve your business or to improve the efficiency of what you're doing or to level up your care or whatever it is that you're doing, but you can perfect what you've got and then you can just keep growing with it. I mean, it's like every time that we do something, I get bored and I'm like, "Okay, what can I do to make this better?"
yeah.
So,
Are you reaching that point?
right now, I'm a little bit bored to where I feel like I could do something different to improve something, but we are getting ready to launch our national training site with one of our medical device partners. So we've been working on our advanced training manual for that, putting that together. We
Right.
created a um training manual that's like the smart skin way, step-by-step instructions on every single piece of equipment that we have. We just completed that. So those things are all really good. And then we've been working on our trademark with our attorney for like what feels like forever because we've been using smart skin for over 25 years, but then there's like Cynosure has a smart skin laser that we had to jump through that hoop. And then there's like a skin smart dermatology in South Florida. You have to jump through that hoop. And then there's like intent to use and all that stuff gets so expensive, and then there's, like, your property tax, your personal
Yeah.
property taxes that you have to pay, and your extended warranties that you have to pay, and there's
Yeah.
always a new fun cost of doing business every year, it seems
Fun.
like. Yeah,
The fun cost, as
the
they
fun
say.
things. So, really just trying to work through all of those things and organize all of that is, I
Sure.
guess, my new project at the moment.
Yeah. I was gonna say, it doesn't sound like you're too bored at the moment.
No,
You just foresee boredom after these
I
projects are
I
kinda finished.
foresee some boredom after the holidays.
There you go. There you go. Well, as a kind of a last point I wanted to hit, do you see I mean, I'm talking about this with just everybody, it seems like, but what role do you see AI kind of performing in your business or helping you guys with?
Yeah, so we're implementing some AI into our new EMR system. So AI dictation for patient notes. We're using some AI for whenever a patient purchases a product, it will notify us and let us know when they should be out of that so that we can check in on them and make sure that
Wow.
if they need to refill it or if they don't need to refill it, why do they not do refill it? And if they're not getting results, that's probably why. So that helps
Right.
the patients be responsible for their end of the bargain whenever they're wanting to work on hyperpigmentation, but they're not using their at-home care. We can be like, "Well, you bought this here, you should be out of it at this point, and if you're not, that's probably why you're not getting the results that you're looking for."
Mm.
But just anything like that that we can help our estheticians to give them more tools in their tool belt to make their job easier so that they can help better plan out patients, the treatment plan that they're wanting to use. We're also using AI a lot to help us plan out our promotions and events. So
Mhm.
whenever we have all of our costs associated into the EMR and what our run rate is on all of them and which ones are generating different levels of income, using AI to help us create those promotions based on that real data. So
Right.
that's
Right.
how I foresee us using it specifically.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, like what AI is, it's gonna continue to learn from all the experience that you guys are feeding to it, and so it will be able to learn and just assist more and more accurately. And then maybe it comes to a time when they should be out of that specific product and it's reminding, it's able to send an automatic text and just say, "Hey, you should be out. Should be time for a refill." Right? Stuff like that. Pretty
So
fun. It's pretty
that's what
fun.
that's gonna be doing. I get really excited about technology specifically. This project of me helping them to create this EMR system has been kind of a little passion project for me just because I love to be able to say, I would really like to see this be able to do this and then give it to the developers and then be like, "Oh, yeah, we can do that," and then actually see it come to life is really fun.
It's fun to create, right?
It
That's what
is.
you're saying, and it's your
Mhm.
creativity outlet.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
enjoy it a lot, and I'm very competitive, so
It's always good to be competitive and try to win. It's only fun when you're getting the wins, though.
yeah. Well, a lot of times we compete with ourselves too, especially like with our skincare reps and how we did this year versus last year and seeing that growth and seeing what can we do to improve that and how can we, change the verbiage or better our education or keep the girls motivated and excited about the information. Like we just had an Alaskan Lunch and Learn today on that was on the HA Immerse and the Illuminate and the neck and the restorative. And we'll see the sales of those skyrocket after this training because they just get re-energized and excited and they're like, oh yeah, I forgot that it does that. Oh, I'm thinking about this patient that was just telling me that they were having that problem. Now I can tell them that. And like the HA Immerse specifically, I was like, oh my gosh, we have clients come to the front desk because we allow our clients to come with a clean face or wash their face. So we spend the entire treatment time on what's only going to benefit their skin. So we don't wash their face for them in the treatment room because it saves them money and it saves them time. But a comment that we hear over and over again is, gosh, as soon as I wash my face feels so squeaky and dry and I can't stand it. And I was like,
Mm.
well, we need to tell them that they need to be on the HA Immerse because it's a hydration that you can't wash off.
Mhm.
So I was like, it's just
Boom.
little things like that that make such a big difference.
That moves the needle so much more than you can imagine, and then you
Mhm.
start seeing the needle moving at the end of the year once everybody's on the same page of promoting.
Yes.
Super,
Yeah, and
super
then
cool.
another thing that, our platform is gonna be able to do is all of our patients it will have a little pop-up menu that will show their last few treatments that they did, the last few skincare products that they purchased, and any packages that they have on their account. So that way, the esthetician that's gonna see them has all of that information at a glance, and then they can be able to utilize that to help make better recommendations for them for their future appointments.
Super cool. Man,
Yeah,
tech is just so fun.
I
Fun
know, it
fun to
really
keep
is.
exploring, and it's either you lean into it or you just deny, deny, deny that it's not continuing to advance and make life easier.
Yeah. It's great until it doesn't work. When AWS was down yesterday, everybody was freaking out, but we were
Yeah.
still up, thank goodness.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, when everything goes offline, what are our fallbacks? That's another content for another podcast some other
As
time.
long as it's not paper.
Oh my gosh.
Not the index
Nightmares.
cards, please not the index
That's
cards
what
again,
Lacey's nightmares are made of.
for
Well,
sure.
Lacey, where can people kinda obviously, I want them to get in touch with you as the easiest channels as possible. What are my listeners like if they're curious about learning about your products or kind of getting connected with you and seeing what new things you guys are coming out with? What
Yeah.
are the best ways to get connected?
Yeah, so speaking of technology, our website has a virtual consultation guide on there for facial services or skincare as well. And then any of the skincare products, we do virtual consults with one of our licensed estheticians, and we can help get you signed up to get any of the skincare products sent straight to your home if you don't live
Oh,
in the
super cool.
area. And then we also have our social media account, smartskinmedspa.com on Instagram and Facebook. We also have a TikTok account. And then our podcast is called SmartCast. So it's
There
based
you go.
specifically on patient education. And so we speak with physicians in the area. We speak with the people from the manufacturers to further educate on the services and the treatments that we have available here at Smart Skin. Even if you can't come to us, there's a lot of providers in your area that will be offering those same great services, but this will help you learn more about it. So we want people to be able to learn about these treatments and the way that resonates most with them, whether that's through podcast and listening, or if that's on social media, or if that's learning on our website or doing a consultation with one of our providers.
That's super genuine of you to kind of provide that as a service of just learning, like just for people who may be very, very curious or may have acne scars that they just want to address, but they don't know where to start. So I'll definitely be getting my listeners cued in with you and make your service the first place to check out.
Thank you. Appreciate
Yeah.
that.
Well, Lacey, thanks for your time today. Appreciate your sharing your wisdom, sharing the journey, and sharing the vision, honestly, for the future of where things are going to continue to progress.
Well, I'm excited to see where it goes this time in the next 5 to 10 years from now when my
How about
children take over this business.
Yeah, I always say with, guests that are continuing to progress and are really excited for the growth that's coming, we'll just do another podcast next year and we'll say, "Hey, things popped off."
For sure. We're always looking to grow, so you never know. Next time we might have a few more locations under our belt.
You never know. Don't cap it. Don't cap it.
We don't, for sure.
There you go. Well, Lacey, thanks for your time. Appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, have a good one. Bye.
You too. Thank you.